Bodyline. England decided the best way to beat Australia was to aim cricket balls at people's heads. Captain Douglas Jardine created bodyline tactics, where fast bowlers aimed deliveries at the batsman's body. You protect yourself with the bat, ball pops up, fielders catch it, you're out. They succeeded in breaking Don Bradman's dominance and won the series 4-1. The Australians were furious. This was technically legal, but completely against cricket's gentleman's game thing. It's like showing up to a chess match with a flamethrower. The controversy strained diplomatic relations between Britain and Australia over cricket. The MCC demanded an apology from bowler Harold Larwood. He refused, ending his England career. The whole thing forced them to change the rules. The Oliveira affair. Basil d'Oliveira was a talented cricketer from South Africa, but couldn't play there because apartheid laws classified him as colored. He moved to England and became good enough to play international cricket. England was due to tour South Africa in 1968 to 1969, but controversially omitted d'Oliveira from the squad. Everyone knew why. When d'Oliveira was brought in as a replacement for an injured player, South African Prime Minister B.J. Vorster said England wouldn't be allowed in the country. This led to the tour being cancelled and South Africa being banished from international cricket until 1991. 21 years. An entire generation of South African cricketers never played international matches because their government chose racism over sport. All because they refused to play against one man who happened to have the wrong skin color, according to their laws. Underarm Incident. Australia needed one ball to defend 6 runs against New Zealand in a one-day final. Greg Chappell instructed his brother Trevor to bowl underarm, rolling the ball along the ground, making it impossible to hit for 6. This was illegal. This was also the cricketing equivalent of unplugging your opponent's controller. Batsman Brian McKechnie threw his bat down in disgust. The crowd booed. New Zealand's Prime Minister Robert Muldoon called it the most disgusting incident in the history of cricket. Australia won but lost every ounce of respect. The ICC later ruled it not in the spirit of the game and changed the rules. Mike Atherton's dirt in pocket. During the first test against South Africa at Lord's, England captain Michael Atherton was caught on camera taking dirt from his pocket and rubbing it on the ball. He claimed he was using it to keep his hands dry for a reverse swing. The issue was he didn't tell match referee Peter Burge about the dirt, which looked really suspicious. The British press exploded. This was England's captain at Lord's getting caught doing something fishy with the ball. Former players like Jeff Boycott called for him to resign. Atherton was fined £2,000 for failing to disclose the dirt to the match referee but kept the captaincy. His explanation was that he panicked when questioned, which didn't help his case. The incident became a national scandal in Britain. Atherton maintained he was trying to maintain the ball's condition for reverse swing, not alter it illegally. Whether you believe him depends on how charitable you're feeling, but the footage didn't look great, and the whole thing cast a shadow over his captaincy. Hansie Cronje, match fixing. Delhi police intercepted a conversation between a bookmaker and South African captain Hansie Cronje, revealing he accepted money to throw matches. This was massive. Cronje wasn't some fringe player, he was the captain, the guy everyone trusted. The match against England at Centurion in 2000 that was praised for entertainment after rain delays turned out to be rigged. A court of inquiry was set up. Cronje admitted to throwing matches and named other players including Salim Malik from Pakistan, Mohammad Azharuddin, and Ajay Jadeja from India. The scandal destroyed careers, reputations, and made everyone question which matches were even real. Players like Herschel Gibbs and Nicky Boje were also implicated. The ICC eventually set up an anti-corruption unit. Cronje was banned for life. He died in a plane crash in 2002, never getting the chance to rebuild what he'd destroyed. Zimbabwe World Cup protest. During Zimbabwe's first World Cup match against Namibia, Andy Flower and Henry Olongo walked onto the field wearing black armbands to mourn the death of democracy in Zimbabwe. This was their protest against Robert Mugabe's regime. One white cricketer, one black cricketer, making a statement during their country's first ever World Cup match on home soil. They released a statement saying they couldn't take the field and ignore that millions of their compatriots were starving, unemployed, and oppressed Zimbabwe's Minister of Information called Olonga and Uncle Tom. Olonga was charged with treason, an offense punishable by death. Both players knew their international careers were over and their lives could be in danger. The international media praised their courage. The ICC told them not to wear armbands again, but didn't formally charge them. Spectators at future matches wore their own black armbands in support. Both players had to flee Zimbabwe after the tournament and settled in England. Pakistan Oval Forfeiture. During the fourth test against England at the Oval, umpires Daryl Hare and Billy Doctorow ruled that Pakistan had tampered with the ball. They awarded 5 penalty runs to England and changed the ball. For Pakistan captain Inzamam ul-Haq, this was an allegation of cheating, a slur on his team's honor. Pakistan refused to take the field after the tea break in protest. The umpires waited, then Hare removed the bails, awarding England a win by forfeiture. This was the first forfeiture in 129 years of Test cricket. Pakistan did eventually come out, but Hare refused to return, saying the match was already over. The aftermath was messy. Pakistan was cleared of ball tampering charges, but Inzamam was banned for 4 matches for bringing the game into disrepute. Hare was initially banned from tests by the ICC after political lobbying, then sued for racial discrimination. The ICC changed the result to a draw in 2008, then back to an England win in 2009. Monkeygate. During a 2008 test in Sydney, Harbhajan Singh was accused of calling Andrew Symonds a monkey. The match was already tense with questionable umpiring decisions favoring Australia. Harbhajan maintained he said "Teri maa ki" in Hindi, a common insult about your mother. The Australians were convinced he said monkey, which Symonds had been called before. Match referee Mike Proctor initially banned Harbhajan for 3 matches. India threatened to pull out of the tour entirely. An appeals hearing followed with Ricky Ponting as witness for Symonds and Sachin Tendulkar for Harbhajan. The ban was overturned due to inconclusive evidence. Harbhajan received a 50% match fee fine instead. The controversy lingered for years. When Harbhajan and Symonds became teammates at Mumbai Indians in the IPL, they settled it over a bottle of rum. They talked, hugged it out, became friends, and won the IPL together. Symonds died in a car crash in 2022. Pakistan Spot Fixing. 3 Pakistan cricketers, Mohammad Asif, Mohammad Amir, and Salman Butt, were caught spot fixing after a News of the World sting. They deliberately bowled no balls at specific times during a test against England at the Oval. A journalist paid a middleman who told the players when to bowl illegally, and they did it on camera during a test match. They were all banned. Butt for 10 years, Asif for 7, Amir for 5. They also faced criminal charges and served prison time in the UK. Amir was young, served his time, and eventually returned to cricket. The others never really recovered. The whole thing cast a shadow over Pakistan cricket that took years to lift. It reinforced the worst stereotypes and made every Pakistan tour subject to scrutiny. The scandal showed that corruption hadn't been eliminated despite the Cronje affair a decade earlier. IPL Spot Fixing. Delhi police arrested 3 Rajasthan Royals players, S. Srisanth, Ajit Chandala, and Ankit Chavan, for spot fixing during IPL 2013. They'd been paid by bookies to underperform at specific moments. This hit hard because it was the IPL, India's cash cow, and involved Srisanth, a 2-time World Cup winner. Separately, Mumbai police arrested actor Vindu Dara Singh and Chennai Super Kings official Gurnath Mayappan for betting. Rajasthan Royals co-owner Raj Kundra was also implicated. The scandal expanded beyond players to team officials and owners. BCCI President N. Srinivasan had to step aside because his son-in-law Mayappan was involved. The Supreme Court eventually suspended Chennai Super Kings and Rajasthan Royals for 2 years. Mayappan and Cronje were banned for life from BCCI activities. Srisanth, Chandala, and Shivan were initially given life bans by the BCCI, though courts later cleared them of criminal charges. The scandal exposed how deeply corruption had infiltrated even domestic T20 cricket. Sandpaper Gate. During the third test against South Africa in Cape Town, Cameron Bancroft was caught on camera trying to rough up the ball with sandpaper. He hid it down his trousers when he realized he was being filmed. Captain Steve Smith and Vice Captain David Warner were found to be involved. This was premeditated cheating with a junior player doing the dirty work. Australian Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull called it a shocking disappointment. The scandal was front-page news. Smith and Warner were banned for 12 months. Bancroft for 9 months. Warner was told he'd never be considered for leadership again. All three gave tearful press conferences. Sponsors dropped Cricket Australia. Cricket Australia conducted a cultural review that concluded they were arrogant. The bans were controversial because other countries had given lighter punishments for similar offenses. But Australia wanted to send a message. The whole thing remains the biggest scandal in modern Australian cricket, turning 3 players into pariahs overnight.